We're back with another entry in the updated Resident Evil Timeline series, the Resident Evil Story. Last time I covered a game that spawned from Capcom's third-party era, when they outsourced many of their biggest franchises. Operation Raccoon City was the result, a game that doesn't cleanly fit into the Resident Evil narrative, but we made it work. Detailing a timeline chronicling the USS Wolfpack squad and the Special Ops Team Echo 6, beginning with Wolfpack on a mission to hide Umbrella's crimes from the world, ending with Echo 6 uncovering the truth, and the continued struggles of the Raccoon City survivors. This time I'll be covering one of the greatest games of all time, the original sequel, Resident Evil 2. The classic that thrust the series into long-term popularity and its modern reimagining. But before we get started, here's a quick shout out to all of my Patreon members. Your continued support keeps these videos coming, and if you'd like to have your name up here too, gain exclusive benefits like sneak peeks, progress updates, behind the scenes, and early access to my timeline videos, go to patreon.com/GamerThumbTV or click the link in the description to get started. I'm also excited to announce that I've partnered with the best horror documentary, In Search of Darkness, for their latest entry covering 1990 through 1994. Make sure you order your copy as it's a limited run only available until midnight on Halloween. And it also helps support this channel, an epic 6-hour-long exploration of what made early 90s horror so much more special than people remember. If you're interested in purchasing your own copy, use my link in the description below.
Going to the movies! Come on!
Miss me.
The 90s, it was edgier, it was grungier, it was a little more self-aware.
And we were out of control and out of our minds.
All the legends are true. Every night we were blowing shit up. Just having so much fun.
Groovy.
No one on planet Earth knew that Freddy's glove was going to come up at the end of that movie.
Want a date?
Want a date?
I kick ass for the Lord!
This one's for the fans.
To go to a video store in the 90s, obscure horror movies that I've never heard of. It was a glorious time to be a fan of films.
I like the crappy ones. Is it any good? No. Is it fun? Absolutely.
And now, the Resident Evil Story, Chapter 5, Apocalypse. In 1996, the very first Resident Evil game releases to the world, and earns the reputation of being one of the most influential video games of all time, becoming the best-selling PlayStation game shortly after release. A sequel was all but guaranteed, a sequel that would dictate the future of the Resident Evil series forever, and it was almost a disastrous early conclusion to a series that is still spitting out sequels, spin-offs, and remakes to this day. Capcom had an unexpected hit on its hands, and ideas for Resident Evil 2 began forming only a month after development on the original one finished. Capcom placed Hideki Kamiya in the role of director, supervising the team that would create the sequel, and Shinji Mikami as producer. About half the staff from the original game and newer Capcom employees formed the majority of the team. The development was rocky from the start. Kamiya and Mikami each had their own visions of what Resident Evil 2 would look like, and creative disagreements led to Shinji Mikami mostly pulling away from the project. All he requested was that the latest build of the game be showed to him once monthly. In July 1996, the fruits of their labor were shown to the public for the first time at V-Jump Festival in Japan. In its early form, Resident Evil 2 was wildly different than the end product we received. There was no Leon S. Kennedy, there was no Claire Redfield. Instead, police officer Grant Bittman and the university student and motorcycle enthusiast Elza Walker were set to be the main characters. As development continued, Elza Walker wore a racing suit, Grant Bittman's design evolved into the rookie cop we know today, and his name became Leon S. Kennedy. The development team wanted Resident Evil 2 to retain that feeling of fear, and decided it would be the best idea to create 2 original characters completely unattached to the first game's events, whose paths didn't even cross with each other in the game. And each one had 2 additional survivors that would join them in their quest to escape a citywide T-virus outbreak. Leon was joined by Officer Marvin Branagh, an Umbrella researcher named Linda, the original version of the future Ada Wong. Elsa Walker was joined with fellow survivors Sherry Birkin and John, a man that was close friends with Raccoon City police officer Roy. Chief Irons of the Raccoon Police was present as a wounded survivor, and he was a character with a normal, benevolent personality. The environments in-game had survivors traveling through major segments like the Raccoon Police Department, which was fairly small and had a design that was closer to a real-life police department. Leon starts the game left behind by a police escape chopper. Elsa crashes her bike through the police department gates. The sewers, Umbrella's secret labs are all in it, and of course new monsters that weren't present in the first game. Most terrifyingly, the man spiders, insect-human hybrids that had human feet, and the zombie apes, infected apes from the local zoo that Umbrella were transporting through the city before the vehicles crashed and they burst out. Character models took damage over time. They could find and wear additional armors that provided additional protection, and early on there were some basic plans to expand the city and allow Elsa to ride around on her motorcycle. If none of this sounds familiar to you at all from your time with Resident Evil 2, it's because this was the version of the game that never was. There's an entire history of fans trying to find the most complete version of this early prototype Resident Evil 2, dubbed Resident Evil 1.5 by Shinji Mikami. There is a fully playable version out there that I streamed that's as complete as it's likely gonna get. Fans worked really hard putting it all together into a playable experience, and it could be played from beginning to end. It's an amazing piece of gaming history, but the game is a bit rough. It feels uninspired. The best word I can think of is bland. Shinji Mikami agreed. Resident Evil 2 had a projected release date of May 1997, and Resident Evil 1.5 was about 60 to 80% complete. He thought the locations and the gameplay were dull, and there wasn't enough time to improve the game's quality. But there was an even bigger problem: the story. In Resident Evil 1.5, Umbrella was finished. They were shut down after the events of the first game, and Capcom supervisor Yoshiki Okamoto found it too conclusive. He desired the option to continue making future installments. The whole thing had to go. Resident Evil 1.5 was scrapped and development restarted on Resident Evil 2. Professional screenwriter Noboru Sugimura was brought on board. He was a fan of the first game's narrative, and he was asked to create Resident Evil 2's entire story. Capcom had a goal of selling 2 million copies and expected the best story possible. Many elements of 1.5 remained, such as the general locations the player visits, and rookie police officer Leon S. Kennedy remained a playable character. But drastic changes came to many other parts of the story. Elsa Walker was reworked to connect to the events of the first game. She became Claire Redfield, sister of STARS member Chris Redfield. Chief Irons was now a corrupt police chief with a dark history. Officer Marvin Branagh's role was smaller, now an infected survivor slowly turning. Sherry Birkin remained, but Ada Wong was replaced by her mother Annette Birkin, and Ada became a corporate spy working for an Umbrella rival. The mysterious John was reworked into the owner of a local gun store, Robert Kendo. The infected apes were completely removed from the game. Some of their moves were repurposed for the T-103 Tyrant, and the man spiders were removed from the game completely. Instead, another original enemy was created in the form of the Licker. Although years later an enemy does appear in Resident Evil 5, called the Reaper, with some similar characteristics, but the actual man spider has never been reused. And the police department was completely overhauled into something more unique. Since there was such a big delay as players waited for the eventual Resident Evil 2, Capcom decided to release a director's cut of the first game, and sent some of the Resident Evil 2 members to work on it. A director's cut that held players over by allowing them to re-experience the original, and a demo disc for Resident Evil 2. Instead of live actors filming the opening sequences as in the first game, Resident Evil 2 used stop-motion animation of action figures to film FMV cutscenes that were then rendered into finished pictures with CG. At the time, these cutscenes were mind-blowing, and the marketing machine was in full swing. Capcom gave the game a marketing budget of $5 million, and even brought legendary zombie movie director George Romero on to create a live-action commercial.
Present to
In January of 1998, Resident Evil 2 was unleashed upon the world, and although the first game put a spotlight on the survival horror genre, Resident Evil 2 is where the series absolutely exploded in popularity. It became the fastest selling video game in North America and broke the sales records previously set by both Final Fantasy VII and Super Mario 64. Less than 2 months after release, Resident Evil 2 global sales were over 3 million copies, 1 million more than Capcom's original goal. The future of the series was secure, and Resident Evil 2 continued being released for years on multiple consoles. Sega Dreamcast, Nintendo GameCube, PC. Nintendo 64 is the one I have deep nostalgia for, since it was the only Resident Evil game on the console, and it's the one that introduced me to the series for the first time. Even Tiger Electronics got their own really weird port on the black and white Game.com handheld console. But the Resident Evil 2 story wasn't over just yet. Rumors of a from-the-ground-up remake swirled for years to come. Capcom had begun considering the idea in 2002, shortly after the original Resident Evil was remade. At the time, Shinji Mikami wanted all hands on deck for the development of Resident Evil 4, until August of 2015 when producer Yoshiaki Hirabashi revealed that a remake was being officially developed. Capcom went quiet for 3 more years, and during Sony press conference at E3 2018, the original trailer was released. The project had evolved from a remake to a full-blown reimagining, using the almost photorealistic graphic style from Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. It mixed elements from various styles of Resident Evil games, keeping the horror atmosphere, storyline, and setting of 2, while using the over-the-shoulder view from the more recent entries in the series. Overall, it was a faithful modern version of Resident Evil 2 that added new elements to the story, although it did exclude some enemies seen in the original. And much like the original Resident Evil 2 George Romero trailer, Resident Evil 2 Remake also received one. The updated Resident Evil 2 released in January of 2019 to overwhelmingly positive reviews, claiming the game kept the best parts of the original while setting its own tone as a modern game. In some of the most recent numbers, as of March 2024, it has sold almost 14 million copies, surpassing the original's figures and guaranteeing the continued trend of Resident Evil remakes. And this is the version of the game we'll be focusing on for today's video. How did the cop and the biker arrive in Raccoon City, and how does their story fit into the overall Raccoon City Outbreak narrative? By the end of September 28, 1998, the USS Delta Wolfpack squad deployed by Umbrella to cover up their secrets had left the city on foot, then began feeding information to the US military in response to Umbrella's betrayal. And the US Spec Ops Echo 6 team gathered evidence against Umbrella after being led to their nest facility underground, and they destroyed the parasite Super Tyrant. Thanks to their intel on the ground, decisions were being made and plans were being pushed to the president for approval as to Raccoon City's fate. On September 29th, the remaining survivors believed they'd escaped the city, only to be hunted by a maniacal serial killer and forced back into Raccoon City. Dr. George Hamilton escaped with the Daylight vaccine in the hopes that it would protect the world from T-virus infection, and the fellow survivors he left behind headed back into the subways in search of a viable escape route. By 9:20 p.m. that evening, Carlos Oliveira successfully carried the infected Jill Valentine to safety inside Spencer Memorial Hospital.
Jill. I'm gonna get you the vaccine. You're gonna be okay. I promise.
Jill was fighting for her life as the T-virus infection spread through her body, and Carlos promised to find a solution for her, although nowhere in Raccoon City was truly safe. The examination room where Jill was laid down and the lobby were secure for now. Carlos checked in with Tyrell for information on Dr. Bard's location and continued his mission. First, he had to secure the rest of the hospital by clearing out the infected and extract Dr. Nathaniel Bard. If the doctor was indeed working on a vaccine for the T-virus, there was a chance to save Jill and keep Raccoon City from ever happening again somewhere else. As Carlos traveled from room to room in the hospital, he found no signs of survivors. Doctors, patients, and people using the hospital as a shelter were now mindless creatures with an insatiable hunger. Spencer Memorial was one of the first locations where T-virus symptoms were identified, and one of the many viral hotspots in the city. Eventually, the number of T-virus infected patients outnumbered the medical staff greatly, and overran the hospital as they turned. Carlos searched every room and every floor of Spencer Memorial in an effort to find Dr. Bard, and in the upper floors he discovered why there were so many bodies violently thrown around. A swarm of hunters made Spencer Memorial their hunting grounds. The hunters released on hospital grounds were the Hunter Beta variety, genetically modified variants of the Hunter Alphas found in the Spencer Mansion. Their design was focused on improving their efficacy as killing machines, while their raw strength was slightly decreased and nervous system was improved, resulting in a much faster reaction time to threats. Prior to the Raccoon City outbreak, Umbrella was making final decisions on whether to mass produce the Hunter Betas. With the infection in full swing, they decided to test them in a live combat environment, and shipped and released about 20 of them inside the city. Carlos barely survived his encounter with the hunters and made his way to Dr. Bard's last known location.
Bard. Tyrell. Bard's dead. He's been shot.
Shit. And the vaccine?
I'm looking.
The doctor was dead, with a gunshot cleanly through his head. During development of the T-virus, Dr. Bard and his team were ordered to develop a vaccine in case Umbrella needed it. Some of it was stored in the hospital, and some was stored in a secret location underground. But as soon as the T-virus leaked, Umbrella executives wanted the vaccine destroyed in their efforts to hide evidence of its existence. Dr. Bard refused and successfully hid some of the samples. Had Wolfpack not turned on Umbrella, Dr. Bard would have become one of their priority targets. Before his death, he was in communication with a U.S. Senator called Greg Tester that he regularly bribed for favors. He begged Senator Tester to get him out of Raccoon City, but received no response. Instead, Nikolai took it upon himself to end the doctor, hoping to continue playing all sides to increase his final payout. Just as Dr. Bard had described, Carlos found a sample of the T-virus vaccine in a cooler nearby. It seemed there was some hope that Jill could survive her infection, unless it was too late.
Come on. This shit better work.
Outside of Raccoon City, the ramifications of the T-virus outbreak were being made clear. The US military was ordered to pull out completely, the barriers around the city had fallen, and all civilian rescue operations ceased. Raccoon City truly belonged to the Undead now, a quiet shell of the bustling city it was only a few days before. Survivors were completely on their own in the inside. The government refused to continue putting soldiers in harm's way for a city that couldn't be saved, and only a few Umbrella UBCS squads remained scattered inside, with most either decimated by bioweapons or awaiting extraction. It was only a matter of time before the T-virus could no longer be contained in one area as infected slowly stumbled across city limits. The Arclay County region just outside Raccoon City was mostly comprised of rural highways with a few motorist stops, and truckers regularly passed through the city to bypass the mountainous roads. And one such trucker was one of the first people to encounter the T-virus outside of Raccoon City.
can get some sleep.
Shortly after 10 p.m., Officer Leon S. Kennedy of the Raccoon Police Department was driving into the city to report for his first shift, although he was late. The day before, he'd just broken up with his girlfriend after a heated argument and stayed at a motel for the night, drinking heavily enough to sleep most of the day away. He'd also received communication from Lieutenant Marvin Branagh to stay away from the city, but communication via police radio was cutting in and out. Leon never received an explanation as to why, and he couldn't reach anyone at the station. He stopped for gas at a local gas station and was immediately suspicious of his surroundings. It was eerily quiet, and there was a police car nearby and blood on the ground. Inside, he found more victims of the T-virus, and our Clay County Sheriff Daniel Cortini was inside struggling for his life.
Hello? Anybody there? Something's not right. You all right? Don't move. I'll be back for you.
Stop moving.
Officer, you need help?
Stay back, sir. I got this.
While Leon attempted to escape the infected inside the gas station, another visitor was stopping at the location on her motorcycle. The younger sister of Chris Redfield, a university student called Claire Redfield, had traveled towards Raccoon City in search of her brother. Unknown to her, he'd cut off all communication to her in the last couple of weeks while he investigated an umbrella to keep her safe. She'd been trying to reach him for days, and with rumors that a serious situation was happening inside Raccoon City, she decided to check in on him herself. Before arriving at Raccoon City, she stopped to use the payphone and check in with a close friend, the beginning of a night that would change both Leon and Claire's lives forever.
Shit!
Don't shoot! Get down!
You alright?
Yeah, I think so. Thanks.
You can thank me later, when we're safe.
Holy shit.
Come on! Get in! Hold on.
What the hell is going on?
I don't know. Hopefully they'll have some answers at the police station.
Inside the city's west side, the remaining survivors that escaped Raccoon University gathered inside the Raccoon Zoo. After Dr. George Hamilton left with the daylight cure, they returned to the subway station, but power was once again knocked out. They were forced to continue on foot, and they discovered a message board with a letter written by Officer Raymond Douglas of the Raccoon Police Department. The notice informed the public that evacuation helicopters were picking up citizens from the tram terminal on the other side of the zoo. They entered the zoo searching for any hints that rescue choppers were on the way. They had no idea that all rescue operations had ceased, and the city was left to its fate. Infected workers and an infected titan of a beast now made the zoo their home. The zoo's star attraction, Oscar the Elephant. They scrambled to survive. Oscar was out of control and relentless in his pursuit. In fact, all of the animals in the zoo had been infected when the city's water supply was contaminated. From hyenas to rare tropical birds to crocodiles, the entire zoo was a death trap for survivors looking for escape. Many of the most harmless animals were already devoured by the more powerful infected ones. Oscar was so large he had trouble following Kevin and the others throughout some portions of the zoo. But dangerous infected lions were on the hunt as well. It was becoming clear that no rescue choppers were coming, and it was too late to turn around since Oscar was rampaging in the area. Moving straight through the zoo and reaching the other side was the only option. Even without evacuation choppers coming, there was a chance the tram could still have power, which normally transported guests to multiple stops within the city. If they could use the tram to get near one of the highways leading out of the city, escape would be possible. But Oscar was in close pursuit. The infected Oscar was put down, and the survivors boarded the train. Luckily, there was still power, and they set out in search of their final escape. Meanwhile, Leon and Claire made their way through the downtown area of Raccoon City. They couldn't believe the devastation they were witnessing. There was nobody left alive. Just a sea of undead carnivorous monsters, as if the apocalypse had happened. They missed the absolute chaos that spread throughout the city during the early days of the outbreak, but this was the most dangerous time for the living to be inside Raccoon City, a time of no hope and no help.
Looks like we're walking from here.
Leon, you gotta back up.
Holy shit. There, get out. Get out now! safe.
Go on ahead. I'll meet you at the station.
I'll be there.
For now, Leon and Claire were separated. The fiery truck crash made it impossible for them to cross over, and the infected in the streets became attracted to the sound and the fire. They both had to leave the area immediately and meet up at the police station. If anyone had answers on what happened in the city, it'd be at the station. Once Leon arrived at the station, instead of finding a welcoming receptionist and police walking around, he found a quiet, empty building. The Wolfpack had cleared many of the infected that were inside when they first traveled there, but more infected were slowly leaking in from the outside. In a small moment of hope, Leon saw that there was a survivor in the security monitors, and he rushed to help him. Leon S. Kennedy became an officer to help people. It's all he ever wanted to do. When he was a child, his family were victims of a terrible crime that left him as the only survivor and orphaned. The only reason he lived was due to the actions of one heroic police officer. From that day forward, he was determined to become an officer of the law and help as many people as possible. At age 21, he graduated from the police academy and decided to work inside Raccoon City once he heard about the grisly murders that STARS was investigating. If an officer was in need of help, Leon would answer the call.
I'll get you out! Please! Give me your hand. Help me! I got you. Give me your other hand. Jesus Christ.
You're safe. For now.
Thanks.
Marvin Browner.
Leon Kennedy. There was another officer I couldn't...
Here. I'm sure you did what you could, Leon.
Does anyone know what started this?
Not a clue. But honestly, all you need to know is that this place will eat you alive if you aren't careful.
Yeah, well, I was supposed to start last week, and I got a call to stay away. I wish I'd come here sooner.
You'll need this.
I can't take it.
Stop. And don't make my mistake. If you see one of those things, uniform or not, you do not hesitate. You take it out.
Lieutenant Marvin Branagh was still alive, but his infected bite was getting worse quickly. Before handing over his combat knife, he left Leon with a stern warning to avoid making the same mistake that he did. Do not hesitate. Leon was determined to find a way out and take Officer Branagh with him to safety. Marvin knew there was an alternate way to reopen the passageway that led underneath the police department, but was weakening too fast to search for answers. It was up to Leon, and inside his new workplace, he would find the greatest horrors imaginable. Walking through the police department was a painful reminder that Leon's dream of working for the Raccoon City Police was dead. Inside where his desk was located, he discovered that his fellow officers had been planning to throw him a surprise welcome party, and they'd set up playful pranks by locking his desk. And now he had no choice but to fire on those same officers. As Leon continued searching the station, a loud helicopter crash echoed through the entire building. Another survivor that failed to escape the Undead city, and both Leon and Claire followed the sound of the crash.
Claire! Hold on! I'll be right there!
Okay!
Claire!
I'm guessing you don't have a key in one of those fancy pockets?
Unfortunately, no. Damn it. You know what that means?
Yeah. Dinner time.
Claire, I think you should go.
Don't worry about me, Leon. You take care of yourself.
Claire, you need to go. Now!
Leon and Claire both had a sigh of relief seeing that the other was still alive, and Claire decided to go around the building to find an alternate way inside. Leon stopped to check on Marvin and found him unconscious, but still alive. His condition was worsening quickly, and Leon had to find him some help before it was too late to recover. He searched the rest of the station, finding a way to reopen the passage in the lobby, fighting through ever-increasing numbers of infected entering through windows. Eventually, Leon did find the keys necessary to unlock the passage, and hope was within sight. It was time to get Marvin some help, but the heroic officer knew that his time was limited.
So it goes underground. Huh. That's it. That's our way out. Lieutenant Branna! Marvin! It's time to go. Hey, Marvin. We need to get you to a hospital right now.
No, save yourself.
Come on, I've got you.
Go!
Look, we can still make it out of here together. Just...
It's too late. I tried, Leon. But I couldn't stop it. Just go!
I understand.
Much like when Officer Rita traveled through the passage originally, Leon followed in her footsteps and found himself underground, leading into the police parking garage. The way out was just in sight, but the gate leading to the exterior was locked. In the shadows, a predator watched Leon carefully and chose its moment to strike. It was the dogs in the kennel that had become infected and prowled the grounds.
You gotta be kidding me. Get off of me! Hey! Who is that?
Lower it. FBI.
Sorry. Thank you. For your help.
Surprised you made it this far.
FBI, huh? What's going on here?
Sorry, that information's classified.
Where are you going?
The stranger was Ada Wong, a woman that claimed to be working for the FBI, investigating the outbreak in Raccoon City. In reality, she was much more mysterious and working in league for another organization, competing behind the scenes with Umbrella. Prior to the outbreak in the Arclay facility, she'd infiltrated the compound in the guise of an Umbrella scientist, and formed a relationship with a researcher called John, all of it a ploy to gain information on Umbrella's experiments. As far as Leon knew, she was simply FBI. One Raccoon City reporter, Ben Bertolucci, knew the truth though. He'd been investigating Umbrella, sneaking into their facilities in secret. He'd been collecting evidence involving the G-Virus, T-Virus, and all the corrupted officials in Raccoon City working with Umbrella. One reporter that could bring down the entire House of Cards. And Chief Brian Irons knew that questions were being asked about his involvement with Umbrella. He couldn't risk Ben Bertolucci continuing his investigation, so Irons had him jailed under false pretenses, and Bertolucci also became a target of Umbrella while he waited for help to arrive in the jail cells below.
Hello?
Hey,
I don't believe it. A real human. Hello, human.
you been here long?
Long enough. Are we the last ones alive?
No, there's a few of us.
Huh. That's good news, I guess.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, Irons sent you.
Irons? You mean Chief Irons? Is he still around?
Who cares? Hopefully he's somebody's dinner by now.
What do you mean by that?
He's the bastard that locked me in here.
I'm sure he had a good reason.
He did. I was about to blow the whistle on his dirty ass. I'd have done the same thing to him, I guess. I'll make you a deal. Unlock this cell and I'll give you this. There's no other way out of that parking garage. Believe me.
Sorry, I can't do that. I have to talk to the chief first.
Look, we're both prisoners in this station. So either we play nice and help each other out, or... Shit. It's coming.
What? What's coming?
Come on. Hey, you need this! Just get me the fuck out of here!
Oh my god.
Something massive crushed Bertolucci's skull. Leon could hear the thud from its footsteps leaving the area in the distance, and Ada continued her supposed FBI investigation. With Bertolucci's death, Leon was able to collect the parking pass that could open the gate, and he collected the evidence the reporter was carrying. Before he could leave, he had to find his way back inside the police station in a final attempt to rescue Marvin. He couldn't simply leave him by himself, not knowing if there was a chance to save him. This act of compassion would put Leon in the sights of one of Umbrella's deadliest weapons. He was able to find a way back in via the roof where the helicopter crashed into the building, with a ladder that was falling apart.
Jesus Christ!
It was the T-103 Tyrant, one of the many dropped around Raccoon City to accomplish various tasks. The one dropped near the Raccoon Police Department was tasked with destroying any survivors it came across. Leon hadn't seen any other creature like this. He emptied his gun into the Tyrant, and the T-103 just got back up and continued its pursuit. Once it was locked into a survivor, no amount of running would result in one's escape, unless it was permanently disabled. Another reason he had to get Marvin out of the station quickly.
Marvin! Oh no. Damn it!
Tragically, Marvin had passed, alone, and rose up as an infected. Leon had no choice but to put him down. Marvin wouldn't have wanted to remain a mindless monster. There was nothing left to do in the station. It was time to leave through the parking garage, but the T-103 was vigorously pursuing Leon. He was stuck running for his life through the police station and hoping the creature would stay down long enough for him to escape to the parking garage.
Ada, this is getting old. Saving your ass, that's twice.
I didn't realize you were keeping score.
Look, this isn't a game.
You're gonna kill me.
Nothing dies down here. Take it you have the key card.
Yeah.
For now, the Tyrant was disabled, thanks to Ada Wong stepping in to rescue Leon. They decided to work together to find answers and escape the city. Outside, Leon saw the scale of the outbreak and the toll it took on Raccoon City. Empty military vehicles, ambulances, bodies everywhere. It was clear that the world was being kept blind to what was really happening inside. The previous days were filled with activity and civilians trying to survive. But now the city was mostly devoid of the living, eerily silent. And nearby, he found a survivor still holed up in his gun shop, Robert Kendo, Jill Valentine's close friend that worked on Star's weapons.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
I said don't move.
I'm just passing through. I'm gonna ask you to lower that weapon.
I kill you are. You're gonna turn around and go right back out the way you came in.
I think your daughter needs help, sir.
Don't tell me how to deal with my daughter.
Drop it.
No! Wait!
Step aside. We need to terminate her before she turns.
Terminate. It's my fucking daughter.
Just let them be.
Emma? Sweetheart, I told you to stay put.
Daddy?
Daddy's here. Okay? You're a cop. You're supposed to know something. How did this happen? Huh?
Mommy?
I was sleeping, honey. Okay? And I'm gonna put you to bed too, okay? Emma. Just go. Just give us some privacy.
You know, it's one thing to keep the truth from me, but why him? I want to find out what's happening here and stop whoever's behind it. Helping people like them? That's why I joined the force.
My mission is to take down Umbrella's entire operation.
Ada confided much of what she knew about Umbrella with Leon. If the company was going to be taken down, it would have to be with evidence from anyone that survived this outbreak. The death of Marvin and Kendo and his daughter had reignited something within Leon and reminded him why he became a police officer to begin with. Meanwhile, Claire had fought her way around and through the Raccoon Police Department and made her way inside. Leon was already gone, but she still had her own mission to accomplish. She had to find out what happened to her brother and began her search for the Star's office.
Bet he's not part of the rescue squad. Are you serious?
She had to hurry. The same T-103 that was hunting Leon was still on the prowl. On the second floor of the Raccoon Police Department, she found the Star's office and began searching for clues. She searched through the desk of Captain Albert Wesker, Jill's desk, and Chris's, stopping for a moment to reflect on his jacket, matching the Made in Heaven message on hers, and his collection of awards for exemplary service. His desk looked like he had some items scattered, nothing out of the ordinary, as if he just clocked out on a normal day and went home. But in Chris Redfield's locker, she found an unusual letter. Chris spoke about vacationing in Europe with all the attractive women that he'd met, and asked Jill to let Claire know that he was okay if she contacted her. Claire had tried reaching out to Jill before leaving, but unknown to her, Jill had been fighting for her life against the Nemesis. If he was genuinely on a trip, he would have told her. The Redfield siblings were extremely close. All they had were each other after their parents passed away, and they were orphaned at a young age. Claire immediately knew that Chris was alive, but was trying to remain secretive about something.
This does not sound like Chris.
His letter was written in code describing what he was actually doing in Europe, investigating Umbrella covertly in its other facilities. With Chris gone, there was no point in Claire remaining in the station. She'd seen the passageway Leon opened in the lobby previously and decided to follow him out. If she was quick, she might be able to catch up to him. But the T-103 spotted his new victim. Claire experienced the same unstoppable force that Leon fought off in the police station and ran through to the lobby, out of breath and hoping she outran it. Surely it couldn't follow her after taking a lift underground, but there was someone else with her down here, and it didn't sound like another monster. The footsteps sounded light, fast, and scared, almost like a child. And sure enough, Claire discovered one alone and terrified.
fudge. Oh. Hello? Hey. It's okay. I won't hurt you, I promise. Do you need help? Here, you can take my hand. You need help. I'm sorry, I can't understand you.
You need help.
Why?
He's right behind you.
What? You gotta be kidding me. Hey, little girl. It's safe now. It's over.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I promise. Everything's fine.
At first, Claire thought the T-103 had followed her down below, but this was something different. The monster was the G-virus-infected William Birkin. His mutations had been quickly becoming more out of control and random after healing from the damages he'd sustained, wandering around the sewers. The man, William Birkin, was mostly gone. All that remained was an angry beast, in pain and ready to attack anything in front of it. He was gone for now, but it would take much more than another fall to end the G-infected William Birkin. Thankfully, the little girl was safe. She identified herself as Sherry, and she was looking for her mom. According to her mom was somewhere down below and her dad was gone. Claire couldn't bear to leave her alone and took it upon herself to become a protector. Growing up an orphan, she related to being alone and having few people to rely on for safety. Chris was the only person in her life that made sure she was safe and taken care of. Once they exited the underground passageway into the parking garage, she discovered the gate was closed. Normally it was on a timer and required another parking badge to reopen. And although she faced the T-103, countless infected, and Birkin, Raccoon City also had very human monsters.
Damn it. I need a key card. Hold on. Here, come out. And you're sure this is the way?
This is how my mom took me last time.
Sherry? I've been looking everywhere for you, Sherry. Brave little girl to leave your house in the middle of this mess. On the ground, hands behind your head.
You can't be serious.
On the ground, now. Sherry, tie her hands.
Why are you doing this?
Shut up. Tie her. Okay then. You tie her up now or she dies.
What's this all about?
Child endangerment for starters. Sherry, come here.
What are you gonna do to her?
None of your fucking business.
You heard her. I swear to God, my brother is stars and I will fuck.
Sherry, get over here. What's your name? What's your fucking name?
Claire!
Sherry, you come with me now, or say goodbye to Claire.
Okay, I'll go. You better be taking me to my mom.
Absolutely.
Don't listen to him, he's full of shit.
Stop hurting her, please!
Don't tell me how to do my job.
Stop! Let me go! Let me go!
Obviously, nobody taught you manners. We'll fix that. Oh, yes, we will.
Let me go! Let me go!
I'll get you, you fucker!
Chief Brian Irons was out of his mind. He'd sabotaged multiple areas inside the police department during the outbreak, locked many doors while getting rid of the keys, all to ensure that police didn't have enough ammunition or places to hide to hold out for long. He decided that if he was going to die in the city, everybody would go with him. But he did see Sherry as an opportunity, as a bargaining chip for his extraction. She held something very valuable Umbrella would want, and he knew he was listed as one of Umbrella's many loose ends. The man was desperate and unhinged. Somehow, Claire had to find Sherry and rescue her from his clutches. She had to re-enter the police department and risk the T-103 finding her again. If there was a clue to Irons' location, it'd be in his office. And sure enough, she found what she needed inside. He had a parking badge for the garage gate, and he'd been watching her from an alternate location.
Hello?
Good to see you again, Claire. We've got unfinished business.
What are you talking about?
Don't waste my fucking time! Bring me the pendant, or Sherry dies.
Pendant? What do you need it for?
Do you want the girl to die?
Fine. Where are you?
The orphanage.
The orphanage? Where is that?
In the neighborhood. You'll find it.
Is Sherry all right?
For now.
I swear, you bastard, if you hurt her... Are you serious? Damn it!
Stupid kid. If you just hadn't dropped that fucking thing, I could let you go.
What Irons actually needed was the pendant that Sherry carried, a gift from her parents. How it all tied back to Umbrella was still unknown to Claire, and Chief Irons had no desire to hurt Sherry, but holding her hostage was the only way to ensure that Claire would arrive with the pendant. Irons may have been keeping Sherry safe at the orphanage for now, but that didn't make him any less of a monster. The local orphanage where he kept her was a location he ran secretly with Umbrella, who used to house unwanted and orphaned children. But over the years, many kids went missing suddenly, raising suspicions about the establishment. Irons was using it to supply Umbrella with children to experiment on. Once they vanished, taken by Umbrella for experimentation, Irons would fabricate their adoption, and he also used the location to hide his more nefarious activities.
Where you going, Sherry? I told you to stay put. You need to learn to listen.
Leave me alone! Just please!
Time to teach some manners. You little bitch! You're gonna pay for this! You little shit! You hear? I'm coming in, Sherry! Get him!
Sherry discovered Chief Brian Irons' secret. He was preparing a dead body for his obsession with taxidermy. The body of Mayor Michael Warren's daughter, Catherine Warren. When the outbreak started, the mayor evacuated the city and put his daughter in police protection. Chief Brian Irons was watching her for some time, and he took the opportunity to murder her inside the orphanage. He desired to turn her into a trophy. Not only was he a corrupt police chief, Irons was also an unknown serial killer, with an unknown number of victims. Potentially one of the most prolific killers in America. A secretary he hired in April 1998 lasted 2 months before she disappeared in June, after she uncovered evidence that he was taking bribes from Umbrella. And just before the outbreak, 8 young women in Raccoon City were taken from the streets and dumped in the sewers, all of them unmarried young blondes. All investigations were covered up or shut down by Irons. He was more dangerous than Sherry or Claire could ever imagine, and He was losing his mind, enraged that Sherry splashed acid on his face. Sherry just had to hold out long enough until Claire arrived. She was already on the way from the police department and crossing streets with the infected and Cerberus dogs ready to tear her apart. But her strong will and weapons training she'd received from Chris kept her alive. Chief Irons didn't need Sherry alive anymore. He just needed Claire inside the orphanage with the pendant. Then he'd dispose of them both.
Hang on, Sherry.
Now you're in trouble. Let me go! No, stop!
Your fault.
What?
Took too long.
What happened? Oh, God. Get off me! Oh, my God! Jesus Christ! Sherry! Where are you?
Claire!
Sherry? I'll be right there! Sherry, come on! What'd you say? Wake up. Wake up. Open your eyes. Hold still. Not infected. Sherry? Where's Sherry? Sherry's fine. Do you know Sherry? It's an impressive display of strength.
The T-103 found them, but unknowingly, the infected William Birkin had saved them. Perhaps the last shred of humanity left inside the monster, and all the pieces were beginning to come together. William Birkin was Sherry's father, and Annette, her mother. Sherry was just an innocent young girl, left alone in the city by two parents obsessed with their G-Virus research. Annette was so invested in Birkin's mutations and evaluating the results of G-Virus infection that she barely registered her daughter was alone and scared in the sewers. Claire was shocked to encounter such a heartless mother. By this time, Leon and Ada were deep in Raccoon City's underground sewer system, entering through an area with new construction that Umbrella funded to keep the location of their underground lab network secret. The naive Leon was shocked to learn that a secret lab was hidden there. The sewer system was controlled by the city, so they wouldn't be able to build anything without the authorities knowing. However, all the higher-ups in the city were bought and paid for with Umbrella money. The sewers were also ground zero for the T-Virus infection, and any animals that were down below had plenty of time to grow from the infection.
Jesus! That an earthquake? What the hell? Ugh. You sure this is the right way?
Unfortunately.
Wait there.
Leon! Get out of there!
Chew on that, you overgrown son of a bitch.
Definitely William's handiwork.
Identify yourself.
Net Birkin.
She's who we're looking for?
Not much time. Need to dispose of it.
We're here for the G-Virus.
Hey!
Stop! You'll never get the G-Virus!
Leon suffered a gunshot wound and passed out. Ada bandaged him and left him to recover before Annette could get away. She was determined to get a sample of the G-Virus from Annette, supposedly to build a case against Umbrella, but Annette knew better than to hand it over. Ada was in communication with her actual employer, and they determined that more G-Virus samples had to be hidden down below in Umbrella's nest facility. Ada was by herself for the time being, but well equipped to handle the infected roaming around. However, Umbrella had deployed another T-103 to patrol the sewers after Echo 6 infiltrated Nest. The Tyrant locked in on Ada. Umbrella had no tolerance for spies engaging in corporate espionage. Ada was able to get away for now, but Annette was watching the Tyrant pursuit, and it led Ada directly into her trap.
Is your husband still alive? Or did you kill him so you could take credit for G? Interesting theory. You don't cooperate, I'll get a sample from the nest.
Over my dead body.
Where's Leon?
When Leon awoke, Ada was gone. He made his way through the sewers and found the corpses of several workers and USS troops, the same ones that attempted to escape from William Birkin when he first mutated into a monster. Leon found no signs of any survivors.
Please. Oh, please, stop. Stop. No. Power Rangers strike! Don't hurt him.
The sewers themselves were a horrible environment to cross through, but it was obvious that something else was hidden deep in there. The complex was way too large and intricate to simply be a sewer system for the city. During the initial outbreak, some of the G-Virus leaked into the sewers, and tumorous growths began forming from the sludge found within. These spawned multiple G mutations, living imperfect creatures born from the virus and organic material. They were large and slow but incredibly deadly, and they could spawn their now mutant larvae to infect or destroy any threats in front of them. The sewer was infested with their grotesque bloated bodies. Inside the waste disposal area, Leon found the wounded Ada Wong, unable to get up on her own. If something made its way in there, she wouldn't be able to defend herself. He set out to rescue her and had an encounter with William Birkin of his own, now even further mutated and even more unrecognizable as a human being.
Now I got you. Worried there for a sec.
I can't get it out.
I don't know if I should,
Just do it. I can't walk like this.
Okay. It's gonna hurt. Hold on.
I can do it myself.
Just relax, okay?
Ada was used to being on her own, and never encountered someone as caring as Leon. He was genuine in his desire to help others and cared about her safety. Ada claimed that Annette told her the virus samples were inside Umbrella's Nest facility, and Leon was on board to help her take down Umbrella. She knew about Umbrella's underground network of trams that secretly transported researchers from various locations into Nest and guided Leon to the nearest entrance.
You know what I was thinking? I can't wait for the FBI to raid Umbrella headquarters and take those bastards to justice.
I agree, but to be clear, you're not working in official capacity. This is a federal case. Once we get the G-Virus, I'm back on my own. Hey, Leon, trust me?
You trust me?
Honestly, if I didn't, you'd probably be dead.
Right.
I thought I might need your help, and I was right. If you can secure the G-Virus, I can make sure what happened in Raccoon City never happens again.
Ada, you said it yourself. It's a federal case. I don't have the authority.
Look at me. I'm a liability now. If I'm gonna finish this case, you're the last hope I've got.
I'm not just gonna leave you here. What if you're attacked? What if you need help?
I'll be fine.
Now, arriving at Nest.
Go. Please, we don't have much time. You're gonna need this.
For your safety, stand clear until the doors are fully open. For your safety, stand clear until the doors are fully open. For your safety, stand clear until the doors. Welcome to Nest. Enjoy your visit.
When Leon entered the Nest facility, he began his investigation, and Claire wasn't far behind, still in the sewers looking for Sherry. She called out to her but received no response. Thankfully, Leon had cleared out much of the infected and the G-mutants. Less danger for Sherry to encounter. Eventually, Claire found her arguing with her mother, but something was clearly wrong with Sherry.
Sherry?
Why didn't you stay in the house? It was safe there.
Hey, Sherry!
I was scared. Those things were everywhere, and... You should have called the police. That's what we taught you. I did, but nobody came, and you didn't answer your phone, so... Sherry, I don't have time for this.
Oh no. Sherry! Sherry, I'm coming!
Sherry? Claire? Sherry, are you all right?
What are you doing?
I'm here to help.
Sherry's been implanted. She can't be saved.
Are you fucking kidding me? You're her mother. Get in here!
You don't understand. William is still out there, and if I don't stop him...
This conversation is over!
Wait! Wait! I can treat her. In my lab. It's not far away.
Mommy?
There's not enough time. Millions of lives are at stake. Sherry, Mommy loves you, sweetie. Goodbye.
Are you fucking kidding me? Sherry, don't worry. I will get you whatever you need, okay?
Why are you doing this?
Because I care.
Thank you, Claire.
When she found Sherry, the young girl was suffering and in pain. And again, Claire was shocked that her mother was so uncaring that she'd leave her in the care of a total stranger. When William Birkin killed Chief Irons, his fatherly instincts had nothing to do with Sherry being spared. The man she knew as her daddy was long gone. The mutated Birkin could feel the child was a genetic match to his own body and infected her with a G parasite to reproduce and generate more organisms. It was slowly growing and killing her from within. But Annette claimed that she could treat Sherry in her lab and led the way for Claire to take another tram into Nest, Sherry's final hope.
Okay. Here you go. All right. Now what?
Claire began searching for Annette in an effort to clear Sherry's body of G-virus infection. And Leon had already made his way further in. Nest was a massive underground facility with different labs and wings spread throughout the underground of Raccoon City. Even the portion Leon and Claire were exploring were just a small piece of the overall complex, yet the most important section, directly below Umbrella's chemical plant on the surface and connected all the way through the Arclay Mountains. This area was operated directly by William and Annette Birkin, and mainly used to research and develop the G-virus. Aside from G-virus development, Nest was also used to genetically engineer different bioweapons and test the effects of the T-virus on plant life. Much like in the Arclay facility's Plant 42, Nest also contained its own Plant 43 variant. One Umbrella scientist, Wayne Lee, was responsible for managing the plant, but after the outbreak began, Plant 43 became aggressive and killed him, along with the rest of the researchers in the area. Their bodies were infected with Plant 43's parasitic seedlings that slowly turned them into zombie plant hybrids, Umbrella called Ivies. The Ivy zombies were almost unstoppable, healing constantly and standing back up, but they were weak to fire, and the pus-filled tumors that grew from within their bodies also made them vulnerable. Leon wouldn't be able to progress further into Nest with Plant 43 active, and the only thing that could destroy it was the P-epsilon toxic gas that the scientist at Nest didn't get a chance to activate before it became self-aware and struck.
Dispensing solution now.
Shit! Him again?
Even with Plant 43's destruction, a familiar visitor appeared that was still incredibly dangerous. The T-103 from the sewers that found Ada had followed Leon and Ada into the Nest lab. It was a completely different tyrant than the one from the police station, but equally deadly since they were all clone templates. Leon jumped into an opening and began exploring the rest of the lab before restoring power to the portions that were still dark. And Claire continued on through, finding tons of infected in lab coats and some in paramilitary gear, leftovers from the USS Alpha team led by Hunk, on her way to the Birkin G-virus lab. After restoring the power, Leon learned that William Birkin was still alive and still mutating rapidly, and Annette would have no choice but to confront her husband.
He's mine. This has to end.
What the hell's going on?
Sorry, William. You left me no choice.
You called this thing William. Why?
It shouldn't have been like this. It's Umbrella's fault, this whole mess.
You're Umbrella too. You're telling me you weren't involved in this?
Yes. But we never meant for this to happen.
Then tell me everything. Right from the start.
We made the G-virus, but we never intended
You
this
can spin
to...
it any way you want. You're still responsible.
Annette was internally bleeding from her injuries and in incredible pain. She told Leon everything she knew about the G-Virus, her family's involvement in it, umbrellas, and the truth behind Ada Wong. She'd been lying to Leon this entire time. Ada didn't care about stopping Umbrella or using the G-Virus sample to make sure an outbreak like this never happened again. She simply wanted to complete her mission at all costs. Leon learned a valuable lesson about blind trust and was determined to take Ada into custody as soon as they escaped to the surface.
Huh. That was easy. All right, now back to Ada.
I was just thinking about you.
That makes two of us. I was getting worried.
No, we make a good team. I gotta ask you something.
Way's clear. Please, tell me you got it.
Oh, I got it.
Let me verify the G sample and we get the hell out of here.
Before we do that, I ran into Annette. She claims you're not FBI.
Oh, Leon. Why couldn't you just hand over the sample?
Because I realized, as much as I wanted to trust you, I didn't.
I really hoped it wouldn't end up like this.
So that's all this was. I was just some pawn to you?
Look, I'm just doing my job.
And I'm doing mine, so drop that damn gun! I'm taking you in.
Hand over the sample, Leon. I don't want to hurt you.
And you shoot me. But I don't think you can.
Take care of yourself, Leon.
No!
The G-Virus sample was lost, and Leon couldn't hold on to Ada any longer. He only knew her for a short time, but in that moment he saw there was some good in her. But now there was nothing he could do to help her. It was time to evacuate using Umbrella's emergency exit tunnels. Annette had started the self-destruct sequence of the entire facility. Soon the entire complex would be a fireball underneath Raccoon City. Claire successfully found the Birkin lab and was horrified at the partial mutations that were kept there. Random limbs and pieces of meat with eyes. And thanks to the symbols on his lab equipment, Claire discovered the secret behind Sherry's pendant. It was the key to the cooler storing the G-Virus treatment. All she had to do was return to Sherry and give it to her. And although Annette was battered and dying, she found her way back to her daughter to give her one final goodbye before her body couldn't go any further.
Hell yeah. Got it.
Hey.
Sherry. How are you?
Okay. But you don't look so good.
Mommy? Hey, look at the screen. Oh, thank God.
So Sherry's gonna be all right?
She'll be weak for a little while, but yes. Take my daughter to safety. I'm sorry, Sherry. For everything. Your life is what is important.
We can't just leave her here.
You're right, we can't.
Attention. Unauthorized removal of a level 4 virus detected.
What does that mean?
It's a self-destruct code. Save my daughter.
No! Sherry? Sherry, please say goodbye to your mom. Mom, please say goodbye. Please, Sherry. Listen. She loved you, okay? You really gotta get going. Come on.
You were right about this jacket. I'm so lucky to have you.
So we can talk more about that later. We gotta hurry now. Come on.
With the self-destruct sequence in full swing, there was no time to mourn. On the way down the long elevator shaft underground, they could see the lab's reactors overloading into a fiery mess. If they didn't make it out within 10 minutes, they'd be caught in the blast, and all their work would be for nothing. The way to the emergency train leading out of the facility was covered in IV zombies and regular infected. Claire's thoughts turned to Leon, and she prayed that he also found a way out of the city.
What are you doing?
I gotta get this train moving. I need you to stay right here, okay?
Okay. I promise I won't leave.
Good.
Be careful.
Always. Okay. Alright. Did something.
Use the central elevator to evacuate.
What's that?
To the bottom of the train platform. Attention. Self-destruct sequence.
Claire!
Leon? You're down here too?
Yeah, but the whole place is coming down. Listen to me. You need to get out. Fast.
Yeah. I know. I found a way out. I think we can all make it. Where are you now?
Claire, are you still there?
Self-destruct sequence.
Leon? I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
Don't worry about me. Just get out of here.
Leon! Leon!
Forget about me. Just get out of here. Damn it.
Damn!
Against all odds, both survivors had found their way into the Nest lab and were so close to safety. Only a couple of minutes remained before the self-destruct countdown was finished, and William Birkin had no sign of his humanity left at all. After his encounter with Leon, the G-Virus kicked in and attempted to heal his body, sending his mutations into overdrive and changing his body into a mass of organic material, eyes, and sharp claws. Claire, however, was well armed with anti-BOW equipment found within Nest. She made it to the train and began restoring the power running to it, and Leon was dealing with problems of his own. The T-103 from the Plant 43 lab found him, and he became one of the few humans to see what happens when a T-103 takes too much damage. If the outer containment jacket fails, their mutations go out of control, and they become rampaging beasts similar to the original T-002 Tyrant. While taking the platform down to the train, Leon was forced to face the Super Tyrant.
Keep going!
Like a miracle from the sky, a rocket launcher fell onto the platform. Just the tool Leon needed to take down the super tyrant. His bullets went right through the monster and its body continuously attempted to heal, but a direct shot from a rocket was too much to handle. By this time, Claire had already restarted the power going to the train and began moving. She wanted to wait for Leon, but time was running far too short, and she promised to get Sherry out alive. In the final moments of the countdown, Leon made it to the departing train and luckily was able to jump right on. The nightmare seemed to be over. The train was set to depart outside for Raccoon City near the roads by the Arklay Mountains, but one final obstacle remained. William Birkin in his ultimate and final form.
Claire!
Leon! It's so good to see you.
I told you we'd make it, didn't I?
You did.
Who's this?
This is Sherry.
Okay. Jesus!
What was that?
I don't know.
You stay here with Sherry. I'm gonna go check it out. You gotta stop meeting like this. I got a hell of a lot more. For fuck's sake, how the hell are you still kicking?
We're gonna lose that car!
You like that? Fine, fucker!
Give me your hand!
So, are you guys like boyfriend and girlfriend?
No. We're just... Oh, we actually just met last night.
Yeah. That would have been one hell of a first date, though.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Look! He might be able to give us a ride.
What if it's not just the city?
Get Sherry out of here.
Come on.
That was Live Another Day by the great.
He was friendly.
So, is it over?
I don't know. But if it's not, we'll stop it. Whatever it takes.
Yeah, you damn right we will.
As long as we stick together, we'll be fine. Come on.
Hey, you guys can adopt me.
Adopt you?
We can get a puppy.
Puppy?
And a parrot.
Parrot?
I always wanted pets, but my mom said they're too
pricey. Where am I? What's going on? Oh.
Attention all citizens. The missile strike on Raccoon City will occur in just hours. The payload is designed to eradicate all biological material. You will not survive if you remain in the city.
October 1st.
Evacuate now.
Join me next time for the Resident Evil story Part 6, 0 Hour. The epic conclusion to the Raccoon City saga. Claire, Leon, and Sherry escape the city with their lives, but some remain within Raccoon City. Survivors thought to be lost make their desperate last escape before Raccoon City's fate is sealed. The US government decides the entire area needs to be eradicated, as the final UBCS squads attempt to leave the city when a new bioweapon escapes, and the Nemesis remains in hot pursuit of Jill as she faces off against it for the final time.